up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills husband Mauricio Umansky seems to still be going through it when it comes to his business, the agency. Remember, he's been facing a lot of legal troubles with this company. He was sued for apparently doing like a really shady deal where he allegedly had a seller sell his a home for like less than what it was worth, and then he allegedly went and backdoored the deal, bought it for that cheap price, and then like sold it for a much a larger amount somewhere in his business. He also had almost 50 of his top agents allegedly leave the company to go and work for his brother-in-law. It truly has been a mess for him. And now coronavirus has only exacerbated all those problems that have existed within his business. So according to allaboutthetea.com, first of all, his agency, like a lot of businesses in America, received a Paycheck Protection Program loan, and he received that in April, and that was supposed to have saved about 104 jobs within the company. It was anywhere between $2 to $5 million apparently. But despite this large sum of money, Mauricio has still been forced to close one of his offices, lay off quite a couple of his employees, and furlough the others. So starting with the office that he has closed was based in Palm Springs, and there's no record or like no admission of how many people he had to fire or how many people are on furlough. It just is unfortunate that this is yet another piece of the Jenga being pulled out of his business pyramid. Very sad to see here. Anybody losing jobs is sad, like it's heartbreaking, especially during this time where it's almost impossible to find a job because businesses are freezing their budgets because they're too scared to hire anybody. First of all, you can't really properly interview and train people because we're all sheltering in place. And then on top of that, there's no guarantee for any company. Any of us could lose our jobs at any minute. We're all kind of sitting ducks at this point. So, and then like the government, as far as I'm aware, as a Canadian living in France, the American government, I believe, only gave citizens like $2,000, and that was like back in March, and here we are in July. So not very much to survive off of during this time. So my heart absolutely does break for those people. Mauricio also said in an interview that he is looking at potentially just shutting down more offices to help conserve costs. And in my opinion, if shutting down offices allows you to save enough cash that you can retain more employees, all the more power to you. But one question I have, maybe real estate works differently. Well, no, it certainly does across different countries, but why would he really be paying a lot of people anyway? Because as far as I'm concerned, real estate agents work completely on commission, and so it's not an out-of-pocket cost for Mauricio. In fact, I believe they pay a fee to rent chairs or rent desk space within brokerages. So I'm confused about that. Like the only people that I would imagine needing to be fired are like office managers, or like if there's catering within the office or something like that, people like that. But not real estate agents. I believe that they would still just be working on commission and just not renting the desks anymore because they're not even allowed to go ahead and work there. But if it works in a different way across America, definitely feel free to let me know. I'm always looking forward to learning new things. Mauricio did speak out a little bit about what had been going on within the company in an interview. He said, and I quote, "It was one of the most difficult things I've ever gone through in my life," and that is in reference to firing employees and having to furlough employees as well. So for those who don't know, furlough is kind of like a forced vacation without pay that a company could put you on from anywhere from a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. You really never know. So he has not provided the details of how long furloughs are lasting within his company, but The positive news is that these things are reversible versus actually being fired or laid off. You know, like I'm actually on furlough right now, funny enough, but it's a funny story. We were supposed to be on furlough for 2 weeks with my company, but then you know, finances turned out great, and so they said we didn't need to take our furlough anymore. But I was just so emotionally attached to the idea of not working for a week, you know, that I just decided to go ahead and take the week off instead of just doing the full 2 weeks. So yeah, like the good news is that as things open up a little bit more, people who were furloughed will be able to slowly return back to the workplace in general. But when it comes to the United States, I think coronavirus is only getting worse and worse there. So it's almost like being laid off essentially, except you're still tied to the company and have to formally resign yourself if and when you find somewhere else that is willing to take you on and actually pay you as a regular employee versus suspending your pay for an undisclosed amount of time. Like I mentioned earlier on in the video, Mauricio really has been going through a lot when it comes to his finances. He's been getting sued left and right, and then his employees started leaving him last year for his brother-in-law Rick Hilton's real estate business. And Rick Hilton and Mauricio do not get along at all, and that is because, well, I should say allegedly, and that is because Mauricio allegedly stole some of Rick's top guys when he was starting up the agency. It's been said that Rick was Mauricio's mentor. So Mauricio used to work under him, study under him, and then he went behind his back to start the agency rather than asking, you know, and like letting him know, like in a courteous, respectful way. And ever since, they have stayed far, far, far away from each other. In fact, when Rick's daughter Nikki Hilton got married to a Rothschild, Mauricio was not allowed at that wedding, like whatsoever. It was a huge bone of contention within the family that we watched play out on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as well. You guys, the chickens always, as unfortunate as this is for his employees, you know, when it comes to Mauricio in particular, if any of these things are true about him allegedly backstabbing his brother-in-law and stealing his agents, him allegedly stealing from his clients that he sells homes to, etc., then, you know, all I can say about that is that the chickens always come home to roost. Yes, you can take the shortcut and like experience temporary gains, but eventually you do have to answer for the way that you treat people. So, you know, the people that you step over to climb up are the people that are gonna like be waving at you as you fall down below them at the end of the day. So it's just never worth it in the long run. Again, if any of this is in fact true. As far as right now, it's all just alleged. You guys, how do you feel about the news that Mauricio has started closing his offices when it comes to the agency and laying off employees and furloughing others? Do you think this is something that his massive company can withstand? The last time I read about the agency, I believe I remember reading that it was set to be valued at just over $1 billion. So I personally do believe that they can weather the storm indeed, but this past year and a half, maybe 2 years in my opinion, might kind of serve as a wake-up call to Mauricio about the incredible powers of karma. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.